What's going on, guys? It's Michael from the Auto Garage YouTube channel. I got my Miata shirt on. I got my Miata here. And you know what? Speaking of Miatas, since you mentioned it, a lot of people refer to Miatas as shit boxes. And to those people, I have to say, yeah, they are. And I love shit boxes. They're so much fun. You can get them for cheap. Weirdly enough, they're usually reliable. They always manage to keep themselves running. And there's huge communities for them. Now, that's a very broad term. People use it for old cars, cheap cars, trucks, even new cars. People joke about calling them that. So it's a very, very broad term. So today I'll be using it in terms of just cheap cars you can buy or trucks, thrash on, and basically what you would call carefree fun. And I'm going to try to convince you by the end of this video to buy your very own shitbox. Let's get into it. Alright, gamers, so to the point. Reason number one, well, a lot of us are poor, right? Yeah, okay, so sometimes it's all we can afford. You can find a decent shitbox between the $1,000 and $2,000 mark, depending on what you're going after. It really doesn't take much money to get into cars, and sometimes this is the only route, picking cheap shitbox kind of cars. It's the only way to get into cars for a lot of us, especially if you're in high school and college and the funds are very limited. And you use the term for what it is a good amount. Like, I think this is a pretty good car for what it is. What does that actually mean? I don't think it really means anything, but it makes sense and it makes you feel better. So what you're gonna buy for that money, for what it is, it's gonna be a good deal, right? Yeah. Reason number two why you should buy a shitbox: carefree fun. If I'm out doing slides and donuts and other stupid stuff with the boys, and something stupid happens, like I sideswipe a trash can and I put a dent in the car and paint transfer on it, that's gonna be funny. It might hurt a little bit at first, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be funny, and that'll be a good story to tell. Like, oh, what happened here? Oh, yeah, I hit a trash can sideways trying to impress my friends because they told you wouldn't do it, and when they tell you that, you have to do it, so now my car is messed up. But when it's such a cheap car, you don't care, because at that point, that's just funny. Now, if I'm in a brand new $35,000 Honda Civic Type R, and something similar happened, I hit something or whatever, pop a curb, that's gonna hurt a little bit more, you know, because that's actually something nice, and that's something that's not really worth damaging, so that's actually gonna hurt. But if it's just a cheap car, you don't care. And also with Worry Free, I don't care about like parking this in the middle of a parking lot and like getting like little door dings or stuff on it. Like, I don't really care. My main concern is getting it stolen, so, you know, carefree fun. Reason number three, it's the perfect way to get into cars. And what I mean by that, if you're a beginner car enthusiast, you might not have the most mechanical knowledge in the world, and you might not exactly know what you want to get into. If you think you want roadsters, this would be much better to buy before you buy an S2000, so you can try that lifestyle out. If you think you want to get into muscle cars, you might buy a New Edge GT Mustang before going after a Hellcat or whatever, I don't know. It's a good testing ground for deciding what you want to get into, and also a good testing ground for working on cars. If I mess up working on this car and I total it out, that really sucks, but I'd rather do that to this than like an Evo 9. Does that make sense? And it's easier for me to work on it too, because going along with reason number one why it's cheaper, the parts are also a lot cheaper for this car. So working on it, even if something's not all the way broken, I can just go ahead and fix it real quick. I can learn how to do that on this car before I do it on something more challenging and something more important, where breaking something on a more expensive car would be a lot worse than breaking something on this, because you don't really know what you're doing. And reason number four is they're just so much fun. I'm not exaggerating when I say this car might have been the best purchase I've ever made. I've made so many friends with this car. You get waved at all the time, hey, nice car, bro, and it's really nice to have that happen. I mean, that'll happen with expensive cars too, obviously, probably even more so. But it's much more obtainable right here, kind of going back to reason number 3 or 1 or whatever. But it's just a great experience. There's a lot of communities to get into. There's Miata communities, Civic communities, Del Sol communities, truck guys. I mean, everyone has their own little niche because these cars are so much more obtainable. A lot more people can get them, especially younger people who are more likely to form clubs and go out to meets and stuff. So it's just a great environment to be in. And at home, I have a 2008 Mazda Speed 3 sitting there, and it has 3 times the horsepower, and it's probably worth about 4 times as much as this car. And I hardly ever drive it because this car is so much more fun. Just because it's hilarious. It's cheap, it's fun. I can always be doing things to it because the Mazda Speed 3, like, it has buttons and controls in the steering wheel that I don't want to just rip out and get rid of. And wheels for that, which have those buttons, would be really expensive. So these cars are just great in every way, and they also really suck in every way. You know, they're great, like, haha, they're great, but objectively, you know, they're really bad. But I mean, that doesn't matter, and non-car people might not understand that. What I'm saying might not make a lot of sense, and it might make sense, you just kind of disagree or you don't want to associate with that. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is what I'm saying making sense, or am I just a dumbass? Let me know, because I think I make sense. I think cheap cars are a lot of fun. They're great for getting into cars. They're easy to obtain and usually easy to work on, unless you're just buying like a basket case 3 Series from the 90s, you know. They're usually pretty easy to work on. And a lot of times they're reliable too. A lot of these Japanese cars and like old Mustangs and stuff have really good power plants and gearboxes. You just have to be careful who you buy from. Just make sure, like, at least the oil's been getting changed and stuff, and you should be good. So, anyways, if you agreed with me, leave a like and leave a comment, letting me know what you think. And if you disagreed, leave a like and leave a comment, positive comment. And don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you, guys.